Hi everyone, this is Maini here, the Realtor Mentor of VXP Realty and the team leader of the Ismaini Domiciana team. And we are here with a special episode of the Let's Talk Real. We have a special guest that is going to be talking all about PHFA and all the available grants that are out there for you guys. And I am excited to introduce you to Christine Warner. Hi, Christine. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
Very good too. So we are going to be talking about the PHFA, and I'm excited to have you. But I want to know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit more who you are, how you got started in real estate.
Okay, thanks. Christine Warner. I'm with Loan Depot right now. I've been with Loan Depot for a little over 3 years. I've been a mortgage lender for, 21, 22 years, something like that. Before that, I was a real estate appraiser for 18 and a half years. So I've been in the real estate business for
a long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Lots of story to tell. That's awesome.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And just wanted to go over, we always do our myth of the day. So tell us our myth of the day today.
I'm going
about the grants being available.
The grants are available for more than just first-time home buyers.
Yeah, I think everybody thinks it's always for first-time home buyers, and it's not.
It's not. And there's programs to help people that have already owned a home. People think if you haven't owned a home, or if the first-time home buyers, if you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, you qualify as a first-time home buyer. But even if you have owned a home, there's still programs out there to help you and assist you.
And that's really important to know, because a lot of people don't know that and think that's only applied to first time. So that's the myth of the day. Awesome. So let's get a little bit into our topic of the day, which is the PHFA and all the grants that are available. So tell us, what is PHFA, and a little more detail about that.
Yeah, PHFA is the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. People get them confused a lot with FHA, and they are not connected at all. PHFA is basically like an investor who purchases the loans from the lenders. They look at the loans. They have the programs available to help people. And they work with FHA, VA, USDA, and conventional type loans.
And that's important to know. So if PHFA is not just strictly for FHA loans, there's another, misconception people have. It applies for conventional loans, for VA loans, so like for military personnel, the FHA, USDA. So it's basically all the loans that are out there basically apply under the PHFA.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of times they give you a better interest rate if you're a first-time home buyer, and they have the assistance programs available.
Awesome. Now, who can be qualifying, and what's the process to go through the PHFA?
So PHFA does have a minimum credit score of a 620. So you at least have to have a 620 credit score. Like I said, to get the first-time home buyer program, you cannot have owned a home in the last 3 years.
Okay.
So, but like we said, there are programs available for non-first-time home buyers.
So that's important, right? So to qualify, what's a first-time home buyer is not owning a home for the previous 3 years. But if you did own a home 20 years ago, that's fine, right?
You'll qualify, yeah. As long as you've not been on a deed in the last 3 years, then you're good. In order to get some of the assistance programs, you need at least a 660 credit score. So that's important to know. There are some programs available in limited areas that you can have below a 660, but most of them require a 660 credit score above.
They do vary by area and by person's each situation, right?
Yes, exactly, as well as the income limits.
Yeah. And then some of the, so let's go into the income limits. What are they, and how do they apply for each kind of type of program? And I know they vary.
Yeah, so they're all vary based on county. And in Dauphin and Cumberland County, to get the first-time homebuyer program, which is called the Keystone Home Loan Program, it's based on a household income limit. And household means everybody that's in the household that earns income, unless they're like a student, then you don't count it. But it's 94.3 for 1 to 2 person household, or if you've got 3 or more, it's 108.4. So they're pretty decent income limits.
Yeah,
and that's to get the first-time home buyer program with the lower interest rate, and and you can combine the assistance programs with that program as well. So for the other program that we're going to talk about, which is the K Flex with the K Fit, you only look at the income for the person on the loan. and that is like 180,200.
So it's pretty
It's pretty
flexible.
high, yeah. And they do have purchase price limits, but even those are very high. Like for that program, the purchase price limit is 484,600. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
So
they're-
great for someone with a good job, good score, good credit
Yeah.
score,
Yeah.
but doesn't have too much cash on hand to purchase, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what the program is ideal for.
Yeah.
And I know some of these programs will require the person to take classes. Can you
Yes,
explain a little bit on that?
So if you're not getting assistance and you have above a 680 credit score, you don't need to take a class. But I would always recommend them, but you don't have to take a class. If you have below a 660 credit score, you're always going to need to take the class. And if you're getting assistance, you're going to need to take the class. So if you have above a 680 and you're getting assistance, you can do the class online through PHFA's website. If not, there's a list of approved counseling agencies, or I can give you the name of somebody that PHFA allows to do the counseling.
Okay, awesome. So if someone wants to get started and don't know how to do the class, they can just reach out to you and you can provide them with that.
Exactly, yes.
It will be different from county to county, like you said.
Yes, yes.
And depending on the program as well that they're going.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing, there's what's called target counties that we, I think we discussed briefly among ourselves. And Perry County is a target county. So everybody, as long as they meet the income limits, is considered a first-time home buyer in Perry County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's important to know. So
yeah. And veterans as well. So something to know for your VA buyers.
Also, veterans are always considered first-time home buyers. So they
as
can
long as they meet the
program.
income limits. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in regards of the grants, can you give us more detail on what are the grants or what they could potentially be and the details about it?
Yeah. So PHFA offers several different programs. One's called the Advantage Program, where you can get up to 4% or a max of $6,000. And that's a good program if you've got a buyer that has some money, because the interest rate on that is a little bit lower than the other program that offers assistance. That money is paid back over a 10-year period.
Okay.
So it's done per month over a 10-year period. But that's a good program because it does offer a lower interest rate on the first mortgage. Yeah. And then there's what's called the K-Flex with the K-Fit. And that can be for first-time home buyers and non-first-time home buyers. And that they can get up to 5% of the sale price. There's no cap on that, like with the Advantage, where it caps you at the $6,000. There's no cap on that. So that one is forgiven over 10 years, and it's prorated annually.
Okay. So just to explain the forgiven portion to someone that doesn't understand, if they stay within the property for the 10-year period, that means they don't have to pay that money back. But if they decide to sell the property before the 10 years, then they would have to pay the prorated amount of the time that they were not there. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Or if they would refinance in that time period, they're going to have to pay that back as well. But if you say you've got somebody that wants to buy a house for $200,000 and they use this program, there's $10,000 of assistance available to them.
Correct.
And their minimum investment into it is the lower of 1% or $1,000. So,
and that's huge. So just to give someone a perspective, right? If they are, for example, qualifying for the K-Flex with the K-Fit and getting 5% assistance from the program, we can still negotiate on top of that seller's assistance, which is paid by the seller to help with the closing costs. So that buyer could potentially be only $1,000 out of pocket to purchase a home in the end of everything, which is huge.
Correct. Oh, definitely huge, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially in this market. So that's why we like to expose, and explain this kind of programs that are available out there to people, because this is the market to take advantage of those, because there's no competition. There's less competition, I should say. There's not
right, exactly.
Right. Yeah. There's some pocket markets that are still pretty competitive, but overall, there's a lot less buyers because of the interest rates being higher. So I feel like it's huge for people to understand that as soon as you're able to qualify as of today and be comfortable with the payments that you're getting with the interest rates you're getting today, at least for a certain period of time, this is the best time to purchase, because you can take advantage of programs like from the PHFA, and then on top of that, negotiate seller's assistance and potentially be out of pocket only $1,000, right?
Right. Exactly.
So it's huge. And in some cases, you could even be getting money back, which you can correct me here, Christine, but if you have a higher deposit, earnest money being given up front, and then at the end of the transaction, you actually have more credit, which it can happen, right?
Oh, it does. Yeah, it happens all the
What
time.
you need, then
Yeah.
you can actually get money
That
back
money back.
on
Yep.
the settlement
Get money
table,
back
which
at
is
settlement.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as soon as his deposit is high, right, then
Right.
they're not going
Exactly.
to take it if they
Yeah.
don't deposit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
So that's
reminds me then, so if you're putting an offer on a property, and if for people that are listening to this and don't know this, when your offer is accepted, you're supposed to give what's called an earnest money or deposit money. And it's commonly about 1%, 1 to 2% of the purchase price. But in this case, if you know you're using PHFA and then you're negotiating seller's assistance, it might be wiser to put a chunkier deposit down, because then you know you can actually receive that deposit potentially back if you
Yeah.
have excess of money. So
right.
and it also makes your offer looks more appealing because you have a chunkier deposit down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's huge.
Yes.
Okay. So what we actually went through this, but what can a person do to get started with this to purchase a home?
To purchase a home, well, if they're interested in the PHFA program, they can give me a call. I'll look at their income, their credit scores, their debt to income ratios, run them through the underwriting system, things like that. See what they qualify for, see what they need as far as assistance, and put them in the best program to help them. If I've got somebody that doesn't need 10,000, they only need, the 6,000, and it's, under the 4%, I'm going to put them into the Advantage program, where yes, they're making a monthly payment, but in the long run, that's better for them.
Yes.
Because it lowers their payment on their first mortgage. So I look at all of that for the buyer when I'm talking with them and see what program fits them best.
And I want to really stress that, because the PHFA has so many different options that we can only really give you a little taste of like the most common ones. And,
right.
But for you to really understand what's all available to you, you have to really give a call to Christine and understand your personal situation, what your goals are, and what the best options are for you. And she's able to assist you with that when you give her a call and really go over it. And if you're just trying to understand what the options are, you can. There's no commitment, right, Christine? They can just give you a call.
Correct. Oh, yes.
You understand their situation and the programs in more detail specific to them.
Yeah.
So we're just giving you a general idea.
Right. Yeah. And Loan Depot has where you can go on our website for first-time homebuyers and do a soft credit check. So
Awesome.
that where I wouldn't even have to pull your credit to see where it's at
That's
immediately.
great.
In order to do the pre-approval, though, I do have to pull your credit because it's the only way I can do it. But that at least gives you an idea, and we'll give you some tools if you do need to work on your credit.
Yes. And yeah, that's what she said is really important. So if we do a soft pull, it won't hurt your credit, but she can at least give you an idea of what you expect. But if you're ready to apply, you do have to get in a pre-approval, which is something more solid, where she's going to really go through your entire financial history, your documents, and really issue a letter saying, yes, we have checked to this buyer. We are, kind of backing that we are able to approve them for this amount, for this kind of financing option. So that's what's a pre-approval, and that's what you need to start started to shop for homes. Exactly. So just really understand the difference, because that's something
it's better it's better to be prepared than out there looking for a home and then not knowing what you qualify for, if there's assistance or anything like that, so that you're ready to put that offer in.
Correct. Yeah. And tell us, how long does the pre-approval last, Christine?
It's good. The credit report is good for 120 days. So as long as you've gone to settlement within that time frame, you're good.
Awesome.
We may need to update pay stubs,
Yeah, and especially if the person's financial situation changes, then
but
if nothing changes, then you can just keep renewing for that period of time.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And now, if you could tell us also, because I know you said outside of the PHFA, there's also county-specific grants available.
Exactly.
So tell us what they are and who can qualify for them.
Yeah, Dauphin County offers up to $3,000 of assistance, and they do have income limits on their program too, and it's also based on the households. And there's for one person, I want to say is like 58. I wrote it down here. And Cumberland County offers programs as well. Dauphin County's is only $3,000, and it's not forgiven. You do have to pay that back whenever you sell or refinance the house.
Okay.
Cumberland County, they offer two programs. One's based on 80% of the median household, and the other is based on 100% of the median household income. So depending on where your income falls, you could get either $3,000 or $5,000, and theirs is forgiven in 5 years, but it's a 3-to-1 match. So in order to get the $5,000, if you qualify, you have to put $1,667 into their program.
Yeah.
But those are two programs that are out there to assist as well.
That's awesome. And those also require counseling, like you said. So
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
This person should know where to go if
they don't require the minimum credit scores. Cumberland County does require that you have worked or lived in the county for at least the last year.
Okay.
So
worked or lived in the county or purchased in a house in that county as well?
Well, you have to live or work in it. They used to do it where you're just buying a house in the county, but they've changed that where you have to either work or live in the county for the last year.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that has recently changed, because prior you could just, if you're buying that county,
yeah, exactly. But that has changed. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Great to know.
And Perry County has a great program called the Homestead Program. It's got a little lower income limits, but that's a $10,000 grant. That's forgiven.
That's huge.
That's a forgivable one too.
In a period of 10 years?
That one's in 5 years.
5 years, okay.
So yeah, and that one's got some strict guidelines on it. So like if there's any chipping or peeling or disturbed paint anywhere in the house, that's going to be, if the house was built before 1979, I believe, because of lead paint, it's going to have problems. So you want to make sure that there's no disturbed paint in the home if it was built before 1979. Because if it is, it's going to kill the deal. It cannot be, it has to be owner occupied or vacant, can't be tenant occupied. So, but that's,
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I've used that program with people, and that's the same thing, $1,000 or 1%, whichever is less.
Minimum requirement.
Yeah, but they do have different income limits, which are lower because it is for a lower income based person or household.
Awesome. Yeah. So if someone is interested in that area, again, if you want to hear more details about it and learn more, if you're able to qualify, please just reach out to Christine directly.
Yeah, because it is available in other areas, but that's one that the whole county and nearby it's available in. It's available in the city of Harrisburg. And
that's available for first time only? First
time only, yeah. Well, Perry County is a target county, so everybody in Perry County. Yeah, anybody.
So that's why it's so important to ask those questions, because again, the myth of the day, right? A lot of people think that grants are only available for first-time home buyers, and that's not true. So if you already purchased a home before and you want to, benefit from, take advantage of those grants, just let us know so we can help you understand what's available to you if you are looking for a second home.
Great.
It has to be primary residence, though. That's definitely a must.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind. It cannot be used for investment properties.
Unless you're going FHA and going to occupy. Exactly.
A 4-unit, right? Up to 4 units. That's important to know too. So since you brought that up, a primary residence, you have to be in one of the units. But if there is up to 4 units within the property, it still qualifies as a primary if you're living in one of them and renting the others. So that's also okay. And you help you actually, qualify, because do they take it differently when you have them?
It depends if it's leased, and every property is different where I can use the income from it. So if there's a signed lease, sometimes I can use that.
So if it's vacant,
you don't want it to affect their maximum income limits as well. So you got to watch that. Yeah.
That's definitely true.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. So to recap, then the PHFA program is not FHA or a variation of FHA. It's actually an investor company that qualify for all the different programs. And anybody really can use PHFA as soon as they meet the guidelines.
Exactly.
And there's so many different types of grants available. And if you are interested and you want to learn more about it, please reach out to Christine, because she'll be able to really, narrow down to you specifically what you can use moving forward. Now, moving a little bit into a market update, can you give us a little bit of an insight on your perspective of what's going on with the market?
Well, I don't have, you hear all this negative stuff out there, but I think the market is just adjusting. It was a quick adjustment, as we all know, very fast.
Very fast,
But it probably needed to be adjusted, and rates are not horrible. We're so spoiled. as I've told you before, my first home that I bought in the late 80s, interest rates were about 18%. And
That's crazy, right?
I did like a 14% adjustable and paid 4 points. And I'm like, whoa, it's
Oh,
crazy.
ding, ding.
I know, it's crazy. I did it. Yeah. And then, when I bought my current home in 2004, the rate was 6%. So they're not horrible.
No,
We just were so spoiled, and people, were able to, buy a lot more, but prices were, when you went out to buy a house, you know what they were doing. They were, prices, people were paying a lot more than the listing price. And,
yeah.
so now's a great time to be buying
Amazing
because
time.
the competition's not out there as hard as it was before. There's still competition, but not like it was before.
No.
And I'm starting to see seller assistance come into play,
Yeah.
which is, where we
Very
were years
huge.
ago. And it helps people, and it can help them buy that rate down, and will we see rates drop? Possibly, but we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't have the
We
crystal
don't
ball.
know.
We just want to make
No,
sure that
I
we're
wish we
telling.
did, but we don't know.
Yes, I
Yeah.
wish we did. Yes, but it's true. I mentioned to you this before that when I was looking at some data in the 2000s,
Right.
it is the highest we've seen in the 2000s. So for people coming into the market now looking for homes, yes, it's going to seem high to them because that's their first time looking to buy a home, and it's higher than it's been, but it's not the highest overall. I mean, you mentioned yourself, you bought a house in 2004 and that was a 6%. And back then that was considered a great rate.
Right.
It's just that we really did get spoiled over COVID I think we dropped down to 2s at some point. It was crazy. And that's why it became such a frenzy, multiple biddings, crazy over offers. But now I just want to reinforce this. And I cannot stress this enough. This is the best time to buy because there's not as many buyers on the market. A lot of buyers are shying away from the market. First of all, it's the time of the year, right? Holidays. That's
Right. Exactly.
normal. A lot of people don't want to go through that process through the holidays. But also, the interest rates are high or seem high now to a lot of people. So a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm going to wait and see what market. I cannot. I hear so many times people coming to me and say, I just want to wait to see what the market does. And I'm like, don't wait.
Don't wait. And if it goes back to where it was, you're going to be looking for a house again forever and maybe not get it.
Like 300,000 other people, that are going to do the same. And you got to think naturally throughout all the years, COVID aside, right? We usually see that trend where holidays goes down, then as soon as the tax return season happens, there it goes.
Then people are out there.
Buyers in the market again. So you want to stay away from those natural increases so you're not having to compete as much. And the beauty of it that right now there's not as many people in the market. So if you decide to buy now and you are able to qualify, you're comfortable with your mortgage payments with today's interest rate, which I cannot stress this enough, you got to be comfortable with that. But if you are and you qualifying, today is the best day to buy because you're going to be getting the best terms. You're probably not going to be paying what's even asked for a property. And you can probably negotiate additional seller's assistance to lower your total cost. And if you're doing the PHFA program, you're probably getting money back on your pocket, at settlement. If, you have the right loan officer and the right realtor to help you set up that offer correctly. But this is the best time to do this. And I just really want people to understand that don't shy away of markets like this because we are not crashing. Like some people are saying, oh, the market's crash is going to be another bubble. And it's not. It's a market adjustment. It's just a very quick, and it scared people because it was so quick, but it's nothing more than a market adjustment as of now, right? Yes. Again, we don't have crystal balls, but that's what we're seeing. It's just a big shift, and it's not a crash. That's why prices are still rising, not as fast, but they're still rising, and we're not seeing declines. A lot of people are asking me, but I'm seeing a lot of house prices on the market being dropped, like price cuts. That doesn't mean that house prices are declining. It just means that people are listing them too high and there's not enough buyers. And now they're having to make price adjustments. And that's what you're going to see on a market, that there's not enough buyers. You're going to see price adjustments. You're going to see different offers being provided, from seller to buyer instead of buyer just going crazy and offering different things to sell, like we've been seeing on the seller's market that we had the last couple of years.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. So please, if you guys have any questions at all, reach out to Christine, reach out to me. We'll be happy to answer any questions. And if you want to learn the options available to you specifically, you do have to reach out to Christine. After we're done with this live, this conversation we just had today will be posted, and you will have the link for Christine's website, so you can go there and reach out to her directly if you didn't have time to, write down our information that's been scrolling at the bottom here. So feel free to check on that and reach out to her. And I'm here too if you have any questions at all. I may not know the granular details of the program like Christine does, but I can definitely forward it to her, and then she'll take care of you moving forward. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, since we're here after, right? So happy Thanksgiving to you, Christine. Hope you had a wonderful time with family.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do.
So, very exciting. So that's all we have. Do you have anything to add, Christine?
No, I try to be accessible to everybody via phone, text, email, even Facebook Messenger. I get stuff through there. So
nowadays social media helps, right?
Exactly. As we were talking about earlier.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
So yes, and I'll make sure to tag Christine on the post too, so you guys can touch base with her on her Facebook. And so there shouldn't be a problem getting in touch with us at all. So thank you so much, Christine, for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a blessed holiday there. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, right? Because I think everybody's kind of extending everything.
Yeah, everybody's out Black Friday shopping, I guess.
I know. I already did some this morning. Oh my gosh.
Not me. If I go out, it might be tonight, but no.
Cyber Monday.
I'm too old for the crowds, I guess. I don't know.
I don't go in person. Mine is online.
And mine too. Yeah, if people laugh.
And it's a rainy day today. I mean, I'm all about staying home today. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So how many turkey, right?
Right. Leftovers. I mean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much, Christine.
You are welcome. You have a great weekend. Thanks.
Thank you too. Bye.
Right. Bye-bye.